This episode of Steve's Outdoor Adventures is sponsored by the Farwide app, outdoor intelligence in the palm of your hand. Welcome to this week's episode of Steve's Outdoor Adventures. Today, I've got a program for you like none other that we've ever produced before, because I'm not going to take you to Alaska to hunt for brown bear or into the high country of Colorado to hunt for elk. No, I'm going to help you get prepared for the upcoming hunting season by sharing some information with you to help you select the right bullet for your hunts this season. In front of me is a 6.5 Creedmoor, a very common caliber in North America today, and I'd selected that as a test caliber for what you're about to witness. You see, as an owner of Pendleton Ammunition, I field dozens of calls from people each week that have no idea. They're completely clueless to the fact that all of these bullets made by companies like Hornady, Nosler, Barnes, Swift, Hammer, and Noma, they all have different properties. They all perform differently in flight and upon impact with an animal. They all are meant to do different jobs. And I felt like this would be the perfect opportunity for us to reach out to Clear Ballistics, order some of their gelatin blocks, set up a range, get this rifle out there, go into the Pendleton Ammunition shop, load up a couple of rounds for each one of 12 different popular bullets, and fire them into the gel block so that you could see by the use of a high-speed camera what each bullet actually does upon impact. So let's head out to the range and start firing some rounds. First up is the 124 grain Hammer Hunter bullet. These lead-free bullets are custom turned on a CNC lathe out of solid copper, and each bullet is weighed and measured for perfection and accuracy. It is a hot-selling 6.5 caliber bullet, and we are eager to see how it performs on the gel block. Yeah, I didn't hit quite high enough in the block. I only hit about another, say, inch and a half down from the top. I was trying to hit down in here. It's like the bullet comes through, you see petals right here. There's little fragments from this Hammer Hunter all the way through here that are left in this first gel block. And it looks like within, I'm gonna guess 3 inches, the bullet was fully expanded and started to come apart. And then there's bigger particles as we get into the second block. So now here we're about 24, now I'm gonna say about 24 inches deep. We've still got petals breaking off through here, but the main core of it exited here. So the bullet came in, went up at a little bit of a rise, went into the water jug, came out of the water jug, and probably sailed off way down range. That's exactly what we're looking for. See where that terminal performance is gonna take. You know, where's that bullet gonna open up? What's it gonna do when we shoot it into an animal, right? And this is about as good of a simulation as you can get. The bullet goes in, fully expands, starts to come apart, got petals through here. I really like what I saw because right here, this means that that bullet's gonna fully go off inside the chest cavity of a deer. Excellent, excellent performance. Next up is the popular 127 grain Barnes LRX bullet. They feature the signature Barnes blue polymer tip on top of an all copper bullet that upon impact expands within 2 to 3 inches of penetration. So let's see what it does in the gel block. I went in much lower. Look at that. We got the bullet. Yeah, it traveled all the way through, stopped here in the second block. Look at that. That is Barnes performance right there. 127 grains, it went out at about 2,800 feet per second. Traveled through the first gel block, all the way through the second gel block. Another 2 inches and it probably would have hit the water jug for sure, but made it through 2 full gel blocks. Next up is the 129 grain Hornady interlock bullet. Designed in the 70s, this bullet features a cup and core design, tapered gilding metal jacket, and one-piece lead alloy core with an exposed lead tip, and a raised interlock ring that mechanically locks the jacket and core together. Let's see how it performs on the gel block. Oh, it started expanding fast. Like 2 inches in, it's fully expanded. Went all the way through, made a really good wound channel in that first foot. Passed through and it's right here in the second block. That bullet did exactly what I thought it would do. And I look at this bullet as another great deer bullet. I mean, let's face it, the interlock's been around for years. And it expands, it's got a nice lead tip. It's not as sexy as those polymer tip bullets, but man, does it ever shoot good, and it performs exactly the way you want a hunting bullet to perform. Open up rapidly, hold its form, retain its weight, and there it is. The proof is sitting in the gel block right there. Those razor sharp petals too. Look how that bullet mushroomed up. Just the way you want your hunting bullet to perform right there. The 129 grain interlock is definitely a good hunting bullet for people who shoot the 6.5 Creedmoor and even the 6.5 PRC, because at another 300-400 feet per second out of the PRC, that bullet's probably about 2/3 of the way through that second block. That right there is impressive performance. The first 3 bullets that we fired today were very impressive, but we have 9 more to go. And when we come back from this short commercial break, we're gonna shoot some of the most popular bullets on the market today. This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures has been sponsored by Pendleton Ammunition, loading bullets, 1 round at a time. This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures has been sponsored by Bergara Rifles, a passion for precision, every barrel, every rifle. Now we're going to test the ever popular 130 grain Swift Scirocco 2. This boat tail bullet has a secant ogive design that promotes a higher ballistic coefficient, and the tapered pure copper jacket controls expansion while bonded to a lead core. The Swift Scirocco bullets are among some of the most popular bullet selections that we have available at Pendleton Ammunition. Now let's see how it stacks up against the rest in the gel block comparison. Another massive wound channel all the way through. And look at this. Stayed dead center perfect. Traveled all the way back. Probably made it through about 28 to 29 inches. I'm gonna say 28 inches of gel block. And it's perfectly mushroomed out and sitting in the center of the block. That is why a lot of people choose to shoot the Scirocco. It performs when you hit the meat. It's extremely accurate. You just can't ask for more from a bullet than what the Scirocco will do for you. Look at that. That's what you want a hunting bullet to look like right there. Swift Bullet Company, when they started making the Scirocco, they designed a perfect hunting bullet in my opinion. Now we will test the 140 grain Nosler ballistic tip. With a Spitzer profile, these bullets have a polymer tip, a fully tapered jacket that allows for rapid yet controlled expansion, and a heavy jacketed solid boat tail base that promotes a big mushroom. Nice pinpoint entry. Look how fast it opened up, and man, you can actually see it right up in here. There's petals already breaking off like the bullet fragments. These are what I've always considered a rapid expansion bullet. They go in, they open up, and they start to fragment. And those fragments go throughout the heart and lungs and vitals area. So right here, literally within an inch, it's starting to expand rapidly. Within 2 inches, it is wide open. You get 3 or 4 inches into just pure soft tissue, and the wound channel just explodes wide open. Now the bullet came through right here and passed into the second block, which was like right here. Traveled through, once again, losing some more flakes and petals through there, and there it is. That's the bullet settled right in there, a couple inches short of passing out the back of the block. There we go. A nice solid base, deformed all the way around it. Nice mushroom. All in all, this bullet performed better than I thought it would. I'm pleasantly surprised with what I see from the Nosler ballistic tip. Now we will shoot the Berger 140 grain VLD bullet. These are accurate, long-range bullets that feature a boat tail design with a secant ogive. But let's see how they truly perform in the gel block. Stayed in the block. Some of it exited up top here, but good Lord, that bullet just grenaded within a few inches. That bullet made it an inch and came apart. There's petals, broke off all over in there. It looks like a pretty significant chunk of it came out this hole right here. And that just happens. I only hit an inch down from the top.
That bullet blew apart and just fragmented. I mean, that amount of damage in that block from here to there is unbelievable. But you got petals all through here, little pieces of lead and fragments. And that's what the VLD bullet is designed to do. That's what they tell you it's going to do. They tell you that it's just going to go in and just frag, and it's going to, you know, be a great soft tissue bullet. I tell anybody that's hunting with a VLD hunting bullet, stay off the shoulder, get in the vitals, get back in that soft tissue, because that's what it's designed to do, is turn that heart and lungs, liver, any of those vital organs just into like soup. And sure enough, that's exactly what we've got.
When we come back from this short commercial break, we're going to fire Hornady's most popular ELDX and ELD match bullets into the ballistics gelatin. This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures has been sponsored by Burris Optics. Find what matters. The 140 grain ELD match bullet is very popular among 6.5 caliber deer hunters, especially right now with the ELDX bullet so hard to find. The ELD match boat tail bullets feature the heat shield tip on a thin AMP jacket and swaged lead core, and the Secant ogive design gives the bullet an incredibly high ballistic coefficient. To me, the design of the ELD match bullet doesn't look like it would perform well on a big game animal. But let's fire a shot into the ballistics gelatin and see how it performs.
You know, I'm 100 yards away. All I can see in the scope is this block leave the table. I mean, it's just like gone. I can see fragments shooting off in different directions, but then I see this bullet leaving the back of the block and entering this block right here. So we'll cut that out of there. You know, in looking at the 140 grain match, I'm gonna guess that this is probably a decent deer bullet. Deer and antelope. Once again, good on soft tissue probably. I mean, with that thin jacket, it's not designed to stay together and punch through bone and whatnot, but you can see that about 2.5 inches in, it's fully expanded with particles going in all directions. You've got a great wound channel from about 2 inches to about the 8-inch mark, and then you see the different parts start to shoot off. You know, there's some fragments going that way, and there's a couple of them going this way, and then the main body, this body, punched out the back of this block and entered this block and went in about 1/4 inch where it stopped. So what we need to do is also shoot the 147 grain bolt, which we'll do a little bit later. I really want to see how these match bullets perform when they hit the gel blocks.
Now let's shoot the most popular 6.5 caliber hunting bullet on the market today, Hornady's 143 grain boat tail ELDX bullet. Like the ELDM, the bullet features the same heat shield tip, only the ELDX bullet has a much thicker AMP jacket for controlled expansion, and the interlock ring mechanically locks the jacket and lead core together. And just like the ELDM, the Secant ogive design gives the bullet a high ballistic coefficient. Based on the design alone, the ELDX bullet should far outperform the ELD match bullet. But let's fire a shot into the ballistics gelatin and see how it performs.
It's really hard to see through this, but the wound channel opens up about right there. So it's about 3.5, 4 inches deep, and it starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it punched through right about here. And there's the main body of the bullet is right in there. Not bad. I mean, it's not the deepest penetrating bullet that we've shot, but it looks like it's got a lot of its body together. I don't see a lot of petals through here, just a few flakes. And the body of the damage is done. It's from there to there before it hits here. Of course, the slow motion playback on the camera really shows us how much energy these bullets hit with. I'm gonna dig that bullet out now. We're gonna take a good look at it and see what we've got. The bullet performed really well. Now, compared to the, say, the ELDM bullet, the match bullet, the ELDX bullet has a lot thicker jacket on it, which is gonna let that bullet stay together. That's why we don't see as many fragments here and little offshoots. It's more of a pure wound channel all the way through, because this bullet's designed to be a hunting bullet. It's designed to have, once again, a thick jacketed wall, a lead core center, and create a nice mushroom just like that.
I wanted to see if Hornady's heavier 147 grain ELD match bullet would perform any better than the 140 grain bullet in the gel block.
Stayed center block. Oh yeah, punched it right into there. But just like the last match bullet, you can see the polymer tip came off right here. You see the red polymer tip about 2.5, 3 inches in, down toward the bottom. And as it goes through, you can see the little fragments. As a matter of fact, another piece came loose and another one carried all the way up into here. So we got penetration from that bullet, at least fragments of it, almost, I'm gonna say 29 or 30 inches into 32 inches of gel block with a little bit of space in here.
After shooting both the ELDX and the ELD match bullets into the ballistics gelatin and speaking to multiple people at Hornady, I've come to the conclusion that the ELD match bullet, while it initially impressed me upon impact, would not have performed as well had there been a scapula or a thick elk hide on the front of the gel block. The jacket and the core would have separated from each other and they wouldn't have penetrated very far. So my initial impression was that they performed better, but I don't think I would have gotten those results had I had an obstruction in the front, like a real animal might have. It's my opinion that the ELD M or match bullets are not suitable for hunting. I do, however, think that they might be sufficient enough for, let's say, hunting white-tailed deer or lighter frame game like antelope, because they're made to be incredibly accurate. Those bullets have pinpoint accuracy, they're easy to shoot, and honestly, while I would never allow someone with me to take them out on, let's say, an elk hunt or a black bear hunt, or worse yet, a grizzly bear hunt, I can tell you that some lighter frame game, I would definitely see them having a use. When we come back from commercial break, we will test the rest of the heavier 147 to 156 grain bullets in the gel blocks.
This segment of Steve's Outdoor Adventures is sponsored by the Far-Wide app. Outdoor intelligence in the palm of your hand.
This segment is sponsored by Adventure Armory. Rifle, scope, and ammunition packages shipped, ready to shoot. If you'd like to book this week's adventure for yourself, give our office a call. We will gladly take your calls, answer your questions, and help you book the hunting or fishing adventure of a lifetime. We've shot 9 incredible bullets into the ballistics gelatin at this point, and they're all performing exceptionally well. And these last bullets that we're going to test are relatively new to the market in terms of the 6.5 caliber. The 147 grain DRT made by Dynamic Research Technologies is extremely popular with our California customers. These lead-free tungsten frangible bullets are devastating. We have tested them on hogs and deer in California, and the results were awesome. And I expect this bullet to expend all of its energy and create an incredibly large wound channel within the first 12 inches of the ballistics gelatin.
Dead center, perfect hit, finally. And you know, you can see that first big chunk of it came apart right there. That'd be the part of the jacket, but oh my God. Nothing made it past there. There are particles everywhere in there. That bullet did exactly what it was supposed to do, which is just get into soft tissue. The soft tissue, the liquid gets into the tip of that bullet and basically pulls the jacket off, and then all that, you know, fine particle inside is just turning and spinning. And you can see that from there, within the first 1.5 inches, all the way to there is nothing but carnage. This is a great bullet to hunt even big game with. You know, and when I say big game, I actually mean like elk, because this bullet, the way it's designed, the jacket will stay together, punch through bone, get to the other side into the soft tissue, let's say the vitals, spinning, come apart, and all those particles start going through there and just liquefies everything in the chest cavity of an animal. And that's exactly what we see right here and right now in this gel block.
The 156 grain Norma Alaskan is a big round-nosed bullet designed for short-range hunting. I see this as the ideal bullet for hunting whitetails in the hardwoods or even black bear over bait at short ranges. But we won't know its terminal performance until we put one into the gel blocks.
Oh yeah, look at the size of that entry hole. 156 grain bullet. Look at that wound channel. All the way through there. But that wound channel starts about 1.5 inches in and carries all the way through and starts to go out the other side. Now look, the Norma Alaska bullet is not designed to be a long range shooter. It's a big lead front bullet. It's a short to medium range bullet. If you're hunting an area where you're inside, say 300, 400 yards, it might be a great brush country whitetail round. maybe hunting black bears over bait especially, that big bullet is gonna hit as hard as anything you can shoot out of a 6.5 caliber gun. That bullet was twisting. You can actually see the twist as it goes through the pet, like just the damage all the way through, and that exited dead center perfect. Unlike those high speed bullets that went through there and did like ups and downs and banana curves, this bullet went straight through. And I can actually, now that I look, I can actually see little pieces of the bullet that fragmented off that created so much hydrostatic damage. I mean, it's just incredible how much damage was done for the full length. That's the full length of the block. Look at all that damage. Full length of the block. What a way to end the shoot. To test it with the big Norma bullet. This is definitely a game changer in the 6.5 market today.
We also tested the Hornady 153 grain A-tip bullet on the gel blocks. However, the testing and results took too much time to fit them into today's show. But you can see the video and full-length review on the Pendleton Ammunition website. At Steve's Outdoor Adventures and Pendleton Ammunition, we talk to people every day that have no idea. They just don't understand that all of these bullets are made differently. They all perform differently in flight, and they sure as heck perform differently when they hit the animal. And you need to take all of these different things that you've learned today into consideration when you purchase your next box of ammunition, whether you're at a sporting goods store or you're on the Pendleton Ammunition website ordering it. You need to think about these different properties, and if you have any questions, you shouldn't hesitate to call us at the office. We'll answer your questions about bullets or hunting trips and help you select the right bullet for your rifle and your hunting application. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this week's show. But please remember to join us again next week for another exciting episode of Steve's Outdoor Adventures.